Hi everyone, I'm Tom and today I'm going to be playing Finspan. We are marine researchers looking for what goes on down here. We are going to be discovering species, we are going to be diving down and observing them and seeing what they do, and trying to be the best one really. I am playing the solo game against the Nautimer. There are lots of levels of difficulty. There is a variant called Revel where the Nautimer might act based on what you've been doing. For now, we are going to use the standard mode, and there are 5 difficulty levels. I'm going for 3 right in the middle. This changes some of the benefits Nautimer gets and some of the points that they'll score at the end of the game. Now, everything that I do in the solo game is what we would do in a multiplayer game, but the Nautimer, as you might imagine, gets to bend the rules, and hopefully we can beat her despite that. So before we get started, I recommend you turn on the subtitles to the Klingon channel. If I make any mistakes, they'll be corrected there. Thanks, Steve. If you would like to help support the channel, then there are ways to do that in the description. I'd really appreciate that. And hello, if you're watching this on the Stonemaier Games channel. I'm Tom, I make loads of playthroughs of things. Massive thanks to Stonemaier Games for sponsoring this video and for wanting me to do anything in the first place, really. So this is my ocean board. We'll take the first turn. We take a closer look at the ocean board. We have got 3 different dive sites, 3 different columns of our board, and they are divided up into different sections as well. The top 3 rows are sunlight, then we've got twilight and midnight, just representing different depths. In this grid, we'll be playing our fish. We do start out with a few fish pre-printed onto the board. They don't do anything really. They count as being a fish, which is going to be important when we go diving, and they can be gobbled up by predators, which we might see later. I don't have any predators in my hand right now. We also start with 2 eggs on these pre-printed slots. There can be 1 egg per fish, and we start off with 1 young as well. They can move around, they can be in empty spaces. You have 6 divers. On your turn, you will play 1 of them to either play a fish card, or you will go diving in one of your dive sites. Go down the column activating abilities on the column itself and the fish that you've played there if they've got any. Your first diver to each site will get a special bonus as well. If we look in my hand, I've got 5 cards to start the game with. 2 of them are special starter cards, and then 3 were just randomly drawn from the deck. If we look at the cards, they have a cost in the top left corner. So some cost you eggs. So I do have 2 eggs at the moment. I could afford the leafy sea dragon or the porkfish. They have habitats where they want to be placed. So I have to put the porkfish in sunlight in any of the top 3 rows. It's also got a colour band on the right hand side. So this limits it even further. It's got to go in the purple dive site. So middle column, one of these spaces. None of the other cards in my hand particularly care which column they're in, but they still care about being in these 2 in sunlight, these 2 in twilight. They're worth points. They have lengths, which could be important, especially for predators. Predators can only consume shorter fish. And they've got benefits. Sometimes they'll only kick in at the end of the game. So the leafy sea dragon's worth 3 points if there's a school on this fish. Some, when they're activated, cards get activated when you go diving. And some kick off when they are played. So the blue lantern fish, this costs me cards instead of eggs. So I'd have to discard 2 cards from my hand, but I would get 4 cards. You know what, that's sounding quite nice to me. It's my first turn, I would like some more cards. I am going to play a fish. I'm going to play this blue lantern fish. So it doesn't matter which column I put it in. I think we'll try and get some more cards. So I'm going to put the blue lantern fish in here. I need to discard 2 cards. So the one with endgame. Now they go into a personal discard pile, which we may be able to get cards back from. So we might be seeing that again, but I'll put that over there in my personal discard pile. And let's say the oceanic puffer. We won't get that just yet. And I can draw 4 cards. Downside is, that's never going to matter again. But the bonus in the twilight section for this column will only trigger if you've got a fish in that section. So now there's a fish in there, so indirectly it will get me a card when I go diving in that section. Let's see if we get anything nice. We've got a pelican eel. That's like an uber predator. So it's got 2 predator symbols on. Yellowtail snapper, marina snailfish, sargassum fish. So this sargassum fish, when it's activated, can consume 2 cards. They have to be shorter. Can consume 2 cards from your hand, and they are worth points at the end of the game. If we take a quick peek at the achievements board, this has got some end of week achievements. We will get 6 actions each week. There are 4 weeks in the game. You can play with just pre-printed, the same abilities on there, or you can make it variable. And there's another side of this where the person who did the best each week gets some bonus points. That is usable in the Autumn if you're playing on difficulty 4 or 5, but we're just doing 3 for now. So I will get a point this week for every fish I've played. At the end of the game, you can get your end game points, points on the fish that you've played, as well as having eggs, young, schools, and consumed fish. So my turn, I just played a fish and laid out a whole lot of information. If we come over to Nortimer, Nortimer has got these cards to remind us of rules. We don't really need all of these yet. It just tells us how they're going to do in the weekend scoring. So our week 1 criteria is fish. It means they've got a base value of 2 on that. It matters for the points they're going to get from it. It could matter at the higher difficulties for if they are competing with us for that goal to see who gets the big bonus. Nortimer has a 7-card decision deck. We take one out each week and shuffle it up. Has their own colour of divers and has 2 eggs and 1 young. Doesn't have a board like us, doesn't have to do all of that stuff. On Nortimer's turn, we draw the first decision card and they are either going to go diving or get a fish card. This is going diving. So the top bit tells us to check the weekly achievement. If it's the diver symbol, then we take a diver and we pop it on that achievement. It counts as them having 1 more of that thing. So it doesn't actually matter how many fish Nortimer has. They've got a base value of 2 on their card, and now they've got a diver on there, so they'll count for 3 at the end of the week. I actually have to have the fish. Then the rest of the card, so the first step, and these steps aren't on every dive card, but first of all, they're going to try and turn 3 young into a school. I only got 1 young at the moment, so I can't do that. Then they will convert up to 4 eggs from their pool into young. So they'll do all 2 there. And then they gain 2 more eggs. These are going to be worth points just the same as they are for me. The points can be variable based on the difficulty that you're playing. So at difficulty 3, the young are going to be worth 6, just like me. If you're playing lower, they'd be worth fewer points. And every fish that they play is worth points as well. They just went diving for this turn. I think I'd like to play this pork fish next, so it just costs me an egg. It has to go in this section somewhere. Let's just have it at the top, why not? And I'll consume an egg from there. Could do this one instead. It can come from anywhere. I'll do that one. So I've played another fish. Over to Nortimer, who is going to remove that diver from the achievement. So it goes back to having 2 fish, and then he's going to play a fish. So it's really easy, just like all the stuff for Nortimer can be. It's winning that might be difficult. Just draws a fish. If it has an ability that affects all players, so it'll have this symbol on it, I would gain that benefit once. Whether it's a when played or when activated ability, I would get the thing once. If I play things that affect all players, Nortimer can get eggs from that. Ignore what the card actually says. They get eggs. So that's going to be worth points at the end for Nortimer, but they have played a fish, and that is it. I think I would like to try and get some more cards. I think I'm going to play this blue spine unicorn fish. And I want it in my blue diving area. So it's got to go in the sunlight bit. It's going to cost me a card. I think I will discard. I'm very tempted by this sargassum fish, but it can only consume fish smaller than it. 20 is a bit small. I'm going to hang on to it for now. I'm going to discard these game end cards, because hopefully we'll be able to draw some things back. I don't need those right now. Actually, I only need to get rid of 1. Okay, have 1 back. So I play that. Nothing happens yet, but that is an ability that's going to affect all players and will benefit Nortimer a bit. So that might not be the best thing to do. Got to put another diver in there. Played 3 fish so far, but that is the goal of this round. Nortimer is going to pop a diver back on the achievement and play a new fish card, and that is not going to affect me, so we don't do anything else. I think it's time to activate a column to go diving. I'm going to go diving in my blue zone here. So first of all, we look at the benefit of this section, which is draw a card from the top of the deck. If you have a fish in here, could be a fish printed on the board, can be a card that you've played. That's why I wanted to get a fish in there first. So I get to draw a fish, a black hagfish, 3 cards to play it, can go in any zone, can go anywhere on your board. So with 3 points, and it'll get you a young, and you can get a card back from your discard pile. Think about that. Then we've got the blue spine unicorn fish. You stop at any fish that have got abilities. So this is if you activate it, you don't have to. All players can hatch an egg. So an egg somewhere on your board can turn into a young. I'll do that. Why not? Whenever Nortimer would benefit from an activated ability, they get 1 egg. No matter what it actually said, they get an egg. Then we can go down to the next section. There is a fish in here, so I get another card. It's going to be a yellow box fish. Costs 2 cards to play, can go in the sunlight. If activated, this means one young or one school can move any number of slots in a straight line in my ocean, because we are trying to get schools together. As soon as 3 youngs share a space, they turn into a school for the rest of the game, and they're worth more points. They kind of double up from going to be worth 1 point each to 6 points as a school. So I've had another card there. Down into midnight, and we have our Glasshead Grenadier down here. So I get to draw a 3rd card. Got a white spotted puffer. Cheap cost, and also lets us move things around. Lets us move things and try and form these schools, but we've got to be able to hatch first. And then finally, your first diver in each section per week gets a special bonus, so I can draw a card from my discard. I don't think I'm going to play any of them, but it's worth just having them in hand. Let's have this snailfish back. Especially when there's costs of discarding cards. So far, nothing smaller than the sargassum fish that it could consume. So it's putting me off playing that. Okay, over to Nortimer then. It's putting another diver on the achievement, and is going to play a fish. It doesn't affect me, so we don't need to do anything else. I think I'm going to play this black hagfish. It only does one thing, but I think it'll be alright. So it's going to cost me 3 cards. These are endgame. I'm not giving up on the sargassum yet. I think the yellow boxfish I'm going to give up on for now. So playing another fish, because that is the goal. And I'm going to put it in here, just so there is a fish in here to trigger this ability. When we dive here and get eggs, we can get 3 now instead of 2. And actually, an extra one because of the porkfish. So I played fish once again. Nortimer is going to remove a diver from here. Can they turn 3 young into a school? Yes. So they do that. Turn up to 4 eggs into young, and then gain 2 eggs. That's their turn. I think I could do with some eggs as cost for fish, so let's activate our middle column. So first up, get an egg. There is room for 1 egg on each fish you have, but it would help if we're going to put young together and try and get a school. It would help to have eggs nearby. So 1 egg there. The porkfish, if activated, gain an egg. Let's pop one here. There isn't one on the Grenadier. We can maybe get a school together here. Nothing. There's a fish in here. Get an egg. I think on the hagfish. Nothing from the fish. Down to the midnight section. There is a fish in here. Get another egg. And then finally, our bonus at the bottom is get an egg. Well, lay an egg. So there we go. That's a pretty good activation there. 5 eggs in one go. Just need to now be able to hatch. We'd only hatch 1 from this column, but I think that's decent. Finally, Nortimer is going to not mess with the divers. Turn the 2 eggs into young and get 2 eggs. And then we evaluate the achievements. So we've got a little score pad for. Okay, so number of fish. I have 4 fish out there, and Nortimer has 2 + 1, 3. Then we get all of our divers back. Shuffle up Nortimer's decision deck, as well as the 1 card that got removed last week, and then we're going to remove 1 again. Rotate first player clockwise, and it's time for Nortimer's turn. So first up, she is going to get a diver on this week's achievement, which is 3 points for every 2 eggs. Remember, each fish can only have 1 egg on, so still got to get fish out. It's good to have that after get a load of fish out. And he's going to get a fish, does not affect me, so nothing else to do. I would like some more cards, I think. So I'm going to dive down here. We have something in here, so I can draw the False Cleaner fish. It's a predator, costs 2 cards, go in sunlight. It mimics the Cleaner wrasse and takes a bite out of the unexpected fish, waiting for a cleaning. If activated, get a card from your discard. It's smaller than the sargassum fish. I think the first smaller one we've drawn, though. But I was thinking the downside is you need a supply up there because the sargassum fish has to go in the first section. So you draw 1 card first, but you need a bit of a supply to be doing that. We get another one in the Twilight section, Mediterranean parrotfish. If activated, hatch, and it has to go in the right column. I like that. And then, yeah, the downside is we've got... Oh, we got a hatch there as well. Might as well hatch where there's already a young. Missed that. 1 more card. We have the Scaleless Black Dragonfish. 2 cards and an egg. Twilight or Midnight. If activated, consume. And this is 30. That's easier. Think about that. Might get that out. And then finally we go to the bottom where we can get a card from our discard. Do I have a card smaller than the scaleless black dragonfish? Yes, I do. It's a game end one that I might want to keep around, but we'll see. Nautimer is doing nothing with the divers, is not turning young into schools, is turning eggs into young, and getting 2 eggs. I think I would like that Mediterranean parrotfish, so got to go in the sunlight section. So it's going to cost me an egg and 2 cards. I'm going to go for the cards bigger than the dragonfish at the moment. See if that works out. So that was playing a fish. We dived first. Nautimer is putting a diver out and playing a fish. This does not affect me. So just a pile of points so far for Nautimer. Oh, I don't think I gave Nautimer an egg. That should have hatched into a young, shouldn't it? When I hatched my own here, because it's all players. This one isn't. This one's all players. I think let's dive down here and let's hatch some eggs. So there is a fish in this section. You can hatch an egg. We'll do it. If activated, hatch an egg. We'll do this one. No fish down here, no fish down here, and then a one-off bonus, you can move 1 school or young, any number of spaces in one direction. We'll move this one down. As soon as 3 are together, they turn into a school, and that is that. They're never going to not be a school, and a school can't move in here or pass through this space. That's why I've tried to do it at the bottom. Okay, so we went diving. Nautimer is going to pop another diver out. Wow, what have they got for week 2 as a base? Is it nothing? Yeah, they've got nothing as a base, but now they've got 6 eggs, essentially. And then they're going to turn 3 young into a school, turn 4 eggs into young, and get 2 eggs. I want this dragonfish out. I'm going to put it right down here so it can get consuming. I'm going to have to lose 2 cards we would like as its prey, but we can get them back later. And an egg. Nautimer is removing a diver. It's a bit of a relief. 3 of these become a school. Up to 4 eggs become young. Get 2 eggs. Then for me, we should get some eggs. So I get lay an egg from here, 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 no ability here, and lay 1 more egg. So that puts us up to 5, I think. So do we do it again with the next action? We'd get 4 more. Be good for 3 points for every 2. It's pretty nice. Nautimer is removing 1. So we'll be ahead in points. There's no like extra reward for being in the lead, but we will be ahead on points if we choose to do something other than laying eggs. Getting a fish. It's not a fish that affects us, so don't need to do anything with it. So finally then, I think I would like to get some more cards. I would like a load of points from every 2 eggs, I think. I do want to go and get cards, but no, we're going to go diving and get some eggs again. Have we got enough fish to put these eggs on? I think so. So lay an egg from there. Lay an egg from there. Nothing, nothing. Lay an egg from here. Lay an egg from here. Yes, that's everybody with an egg now. And no bonus, because we've already done that one. End of the week. So back to the pad. So for week 2, every 2 eggs is worth 3 points. I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. So that's going to give me 4 times 3, 12 points. Nautimer has 0, 1 set of that for 3 points. That's going to hurt Nautimer. But it's the order of these cards coming out. Like, if they came out, removed them before she'd put any on, then she'd end up with loads. And 1 remove actually got pulled out of the deck. Because we always remove that 1 card every week. At random. So 12, 3 for points, feeling good about that. Retrieve all of your divers. First player comes back to me, and then we need to shuffle up Nautimer's deck and remove 1 card. So I've only got this Mariana Snailfish, which I don't really want to play right now, so I think we're going to go diving for some more cards. So first up, we get a card, and it's going to be the Patagonian Toothfish. Costs 3 eggs, could go anywhere, with 5 points at the end. Gets us a card, an egg, hatch an egg, and move a young or a school. Antifreeze proteins prevent its blood and tissues from freezing in sub-zero temperatures. We all get to hatch an egg. So for me, it might as well be where I've already got a young to try and get a school there. Nautimer benefiting from that gets an egg. Move down for another card, and that's going to be Escalar. Card and 2 eggs can go in Twilight. When played, put an egg on every large fish. So you see there's a different symbol in the corner of the cards based on their size. That's small, that's large, and that's medium. Nothing from here. Draw one more card. The white suckerfish. 2 eggs, if activated, consume something smaller than 30. And then we're activating the scaleless black dragonfish, which wants to consume something smaller than 30. The only thing right now is that snailfish, so we're going to lose that game end ability, but we'll get a point for it consuming that. And then the bonus, draw one from the discard pile. I think we'll get this false cleaner fish. Nautuma goes and removes a diver, doesn't have one on there yet. Turns 3 of these into a school, up to 4 of these into young, and then gets 2 eggs. All of these are points at the end. So we want large fish for week 3. Just gotten a very large fish, which could help us hatch more if it was here. You can overwrite shorter fish if you want to. Sometimes there is a cost of consuming a fish, so that fish has to go on top of a smaller fish. But then that counts as a consumed fish at the end of the game for scoring. We've got the Patagonian toothfish as well. It doesn't do anything in the end, but could be something good to have out. You probably want to play that Escalar when you've got more fish of that size, because it puts an egg on all of them. What about this Patagonian toothfish? We've got a lot of eggs around. I think play in here, because you can go in Twilight as well. Doesn't give us an ability, but it will activate this one. So pay 3 eggs. I'm going to say these ones. And when played, get a card. So we've got Skipjack Tuna. Can let all players hatch. Hatch an egg. I'm going to hatch an egg here. No, lay an egg. Then hatch it. And then that becomes a school. And then I can move a young or a school. I'm going to move this young over here. Yeah. Nautuma is not turning things into schools, turning the eggs into young and getting 2 eggs. I want more large fish. Let's try drawing and see what we can get. There is a large fish in here, isn't there? No, medium is the biggest. Let's get some more cards. So the clown anemone fish. 6 points at the end of the game if there are 2 young on this fish. Something to think about. All players can hatch. So I think we'll have that hatch. And that means that Nautuma gets an egg. Down for a new card. Football fish. Costs 2 cards and a young. If activated, move. 6 points is very small. Down here for another card. Spookfish. Oh, 7. Very small. If activated, all players can lay an egg. Tempting. Goes in Twilight, though. But could go over the fish that isn't doing anything in Twilight right now. When activated, I mean. And then he can consume something smaller than 30. I think the football fish is going. And then no extra ability, because we've already done that column this week. Then remove a diver. Haven't put one on yet. And not playing a fish that affects me. I think I would like that spookfish. So it's going to cost me 2 cards. I think these 2... I'm not too sure. I'll just pop that there. You played a fish. Nautuma is going to remove a diver and then turn 3 young into a school. Turn these eggs into young and gain 2 eggs. I am going to activate my egg column now. So lay an egg. If activated, lay an egg. Lay an egg. If activated, everyone lays an egg, which means Nautuma also gets one. Lay an egg. Yes, we've got someone who hasn't got an egg. And lay an egg. They're all worth a point each if we just ended like that. Nautuma is putting a diver on. So has... Oh, how many are they starting with? 1. So has 2 large fish right now. I think I'm okay to fall behind on this a little bit. If I'm just not drawing them and it's not going that way, I won't force it. Because it means the Escalar's ability of putting an egg on all of your large fish doesn't really matter that too much to me. It's worth 5 points. So last, let's hatch some things. So I'm going to hatch here. That immediately becomes a school, which might be a little bit in the way, actually. So they have 1 school on each space. Then nothing. If activated, hatch. Try some hatching down here, maybe. You hatch. Nothing in here, so not getting the move, but you will do the move. Put you down there. So there's 2 on there, and then lay and hatch on there to get another school, maybe. Yeah, that will be that. And finally, Nautuma will put another diver on, and is going to turn 3 into a school, turn these into young, and get 2 eggs. So for week 3, I have a grand total of 1 large fish for 2 points. Nautuma has 1, 2, 3 for 6 points. get our divers back, shuffle up Nautimus' deck, and remove one. And so this round, there is no scoring thing for it. You will activate your game end abilities at the end of this week. All of the diver symbols at the top of the decision cards don't matter this week. So first up is going to be diving. So turn 3 into a school. Turn those into young. Gain 2 eggs. I would like some more cards and maybe retrieve one of those game end cards from the discard. So let's see what we get. Paint Spotted Moray. Cost 2 eggs. When played, get 3 from your discard. I mean, I feel like we've got like 3 game end things. 3 points if there's a school on this fish. We could make that happen, maybe. So there's potential. Hatch an egg. Oh, I wish I had one down here. I wish we'd laid another one, but it would be a waste because there's no room anywhere else to lay eggs. So let's hatch this one, and it could easily be moved down later. All players get to do that, so Nautimus lays. Then draw another card. Got the Silver Lightfish. Let everyone hatch, and it can go low down. Nothing. Draw one more. Diamond Stingray. Another get 3 from the discard pile. And then we get 1 from the discard pile. The Yellowtail Snapper lays an egg on everything in the purple column. And we might have hatched them by the end of the game. That could be quite nice. Yeah, we'll do that. Oh, you haven't done the consuming. Who are you going to consume? The False Cleaner Fish. They're all a point each. Nautimus is diving. So 3 of them turn into a school. They turn into young. Get 2 eggs. Let's get something down here so we can be moving more, as well as hatching. So I'm going to get rid of this one, and I'm going to get rid of this one. Now, you're small. We could maybe feed you to someone. This one. Okay. To play there, and that's playing a fish. Nautimus is going to play a fish. Hasn't played one with an everyone ability this game. But that's okay. I'll help myself. Right, let's hatch then. So, coming down here, we will hatch on here, perhaps. Work on this one. And then hatch, hatch, nothing, move. So we'll move you down there, make a school. All players hatch. So you get an egg, I hatch. And finally, move again. What about moving you up to there? Getting the school on the porkfish. They can be on open slots, just we put the eggs on the fish. So it makes sense. So we've gone through that. Nautimus is going to dive. So you are become a school. You hatch. You are laid. I think we need some more eggs. So definitely want an egg on you. We don't want eggs in the middle at the end, though. Because if we're going to play this, that will put them on there at the end. Egg from here. Everyone gets an egg. I can have one down here. Or actually, we're at where you've got a thing. So you could hatch and move. And that would be the third. Lay here. And lay one more time down here. Perfect. Right. Nautimus is finding a fish. It's a sniper eel. It affects everybody. So it's an if activated one. I get it once. So lay an egg. I don't think I can lay an egg. I can lay in the middle. Just trying to check. There's nowhere else without an egg. There's only 1 egg slot on each fish. So there we go. I'm going to hatch, and then maybe we'll play the Yellowtail Snapper at the end. Maybe there'll be something better to do. So, hatch. We will hatch here. They automatically become a school because they're all together. Moving down. Hatch. Do you there. Hatch. Oh, if you hatch, you're not an egg anymore. And an egg can be laid on there. Perfect. Move. So you can go there and become a school. And then nothing extra. Oh, all players hatch. I guess might as well. He'll be getting his egg no matter what. I don't think it's going to benefit me hatching, but we'll do it. Finally, a dive, but just going to turn these into young and get 2 eggs. For me, actually, rather than playing that snapper and laying 3 eggs at the end, or you could put it in here so you'd get 4 eggs, wouldn't you? And the point from the fish. I was thinking, for doing the card itself, if I've got... I'm just thinking, for doing the column itself, if I've got fish to lay eggs on, I would get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's more points, isn't it? It's the same number of points. Why not have a Yellowtail Snapper out? Go on. Discard a card. We don't need these cards. And then it's going to lay eggs at the end of the game. Done. Nautimus finished. So then, week 4, activate any game end abilities. After all that, I only got 1 of them. But it does let us put an egg on everyone in this purple column. So endgame points. Neither of us got any of those. Points printed on your visible fish. For me, it's the numbers on those fish. So we've got 2, 6, 7, 12. Nothing on your pre-printed ones. 13, 18, 23, 26, 30, 34. And then Nortimer, at this difficulty, gets 4 points for every fish. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is going to be 36. So beat me on that. Eggs are all worth a point each. For Mortimer, it's every 2 eggs. So just 1 point for Mortimer. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 eggs. Young are worth a point for me. 1, 2. They're also worth 1 point for Mortimer at any difficulty. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. Schools are worth 6 each for both of us. They're worth 5 for Mortimer at lower difficulties. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is going to be 36 for me. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is going to be 48 for Mortimer. And then consumed fish does not matter for Mortimer. And so we've got 1, 2, 3 for me, but it could make all of the difference. So at the end, I have got 16, 18, 52, 61, 63, 99, 102, and Mortimer has 12, 48, 96, 97, 108. So it has just pipped me. Maybe all of those extra eggs that she was given is making the 6-point difference here, and I didn't quite make it up on mine, so clearly not ready to go up to difficulty 4. If you went up to difficulty 4, you would use the stormy difficulty side of the cards, where Mortimer gets a bigger boost to her achievements before divers are taken into account, and we get what we would do on the side B of the achievement in a multiplayer game. The person who got the most points from the achievement gets 3 extra points. And then there's an optional Revel mode you can include, where you will draw one of these cards where Mortimer is going to consider a particular area of your player board and gain points based on how many things you put in there. So you've got to think about, oh, it would be great to put that fish down, but Mortimer would get points for multiple things being in there this round. And on top of that, the huge deck of fish, I think it's like 125 in the base game, so tons and tons you're not going to see, especially if you're playing solo. Oh, and different achievements, of course, if you're playing with the variable ones. So there we go, that is a solo game of Finspan. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it gave you a good idea of what the game is like, what the solo mode is like. If you'd like to see more from me, there are hundreds of playthroughs on this channel, including loads more from Stonemaier games. I recently did a playthrough of Euphoria, one of my favourites, but there's plenty for Wingspan and its expansions, Wormspan, Between Two Castles, Rolling Realms. There's tons on there. I'm sure you'll find more that you'll enjoy. Thank you so much for watching this one, though, and I'll see you for the next game. Bye, everyone.